So hello everybody and welcome back to some WARNO League action as we are in here now into the second semifinal as we have Stardekk versus Scuff here, who obviously didn't follow the rules and named themselves some random names, and it's gonna be hard to follow, but yeah, blue side here, aka Honey Kumis, is Scuff. Right side in red is Stardekk. We will use those names here for the players accordingly. And yeah, they are here in the semifinals. Coming up, the winner will have to face Woe in the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5, so a lot of WARNO coming your ways here, guys. At least 3 games, potentially all the way to 5. And we're starting here on a classic map. As on the left side, blue coming in with 5th Panzer here is Scuff. And then on the right side, 20th Panzerna, which for this map is an interesting one, isn't it, Chloride?
Yeah, I mean, the 20th Panzerna here, we are already seeing the development of the Polish recon attack that has been going up very popular, both with 20th and 4th Polish. And here, this the way that we can see Stardekk deploying here, this is quite obviously a recon supported all-in, trying to use the numbers and especially the map control that you can gain with the Rozpecialne Honker and the Mi-2 helicopters to basically figure out the enemy and then use your all-in that is going to the southern area to gain some early trades. And the opponent will try to do the same with the first pair and the Aufklärers, but it's going to be outgunned because they don't. The first pair transports are slower and don't offer the fire support capacities of the Honker Rus. Apologies. And on the other side, I think the investment into the BWR, the BRMs, the radar BMP-1 recon thingies with the exceptional radar optics, those especially, I think will offer a just enough firepower, just enough meat and steel to break through into Foxtrot. Now, whether you're going to hold Foxtrot and whether Scuff, and I refuse to say Honey Kumis because I have a feeling that it's not something. It sounds something insulting, something that is not that polite to say. Whether or not Scuff will be able to counterattack going into northeast and then maybe even cut off Stardeck's reinforcement route into the plateau. That would be the obvious natural counterattack if the enemy gets into Foxtrot. And Stardekk has invested heavily into the recon to make sure that if this is anywhere near close to happening, that this can be slowed down or stopped with helicopters, fighter bombers, or such. But anyways, the last time in the semifinals, we saw the fan. Everybody loves them. Woe is me, Stallbreaker, and now we have the forces of evil. We have Russia versus Israel, and players who have known to not pull any punches, so to speak. And I have a feeling the Stardekk especially is going to be trying exceptionally hard here, and I have my money set on Stardekk, at least for this opener here. But Scuff has shown that the Scuff is part of the Russian scene, the Russian top player scene, plays a lot with Pro Commie, shares a lot of strategies or divisions with Pro Commie, and is maybe not as homogeneous player as Stardekk is. That I believe Scuff has the wider capacity to play, but Stardekk performs really well. Stardekk does simple aggro attacks, often all-ins, and plays them very well. And in this meta, especially with the tank divisions and the recon meta, this really is the moment for the all-in tank player.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that whenever Scuff fails, Procomi steps it up, and whenever Procomi fails, like he did this season in group stage, Scuff takes it up and gets to the semifinals and potentially finals here. And yeah, those two players always beasts in 2v2 tournaments together, and also always up there somewhere in the top 4 in the 1v1 events. And let's see if 5th Panzer here can make it through. 5th Panzer for sure has the late game here by a lot. Like, they have the Leo 2A4 that just wipes the floor with T-72s if it can be set up nicely. But you have to get there, and that's where 20th Panzerna will try to get in here, try to stop you from getting there, and there is enough points to get a decently fast tick on this map if you push, but you have to get the push on, and that's open map in the middle is not that easy.
The Honker is so fast, it matches the 200 kph helicopter with speed. The Honker Rus Elite is amazing. Like, look at this. The Honkers are deploying before the first pair. Like, this Special Forces opener is so powerful here. The Lux is going to have the fire supremacy for the moment here. But just the map control that you get by having the Rospecialne all around the place.
And the Self... there is now the micro. The Ross Specialny got pretty deep in there as well. MI2 US also see a lot, so they also will deal with the Fenchbear in the north. One Alouette from Scuff getting pretty deep in here as well, seeing pretty much everything as well. But the Milan 2 team that came in a Transportpanzer Fuchs Milan already getting overrun here, and that's exactly what Stardekk wants, because that allows his BMPs and his T-72s to push through here, as without the ATGMs, the south is really, really vulnerable. So yeah, the north, I don't think Scuff will have too much issues there, but the push in the south, this is what is really scary here right now. Needs to find a solution for that, as there's only a Leo 1A1 and a T-72 here. The Jaguar 2 against the T-72 and the BMPs. The BMPs don't have smoke, and the Jaguar finds the first kill even with transport units inside, and Scoop wins the north. But yeah, the question is, can they hold on to the south here? BMP2, T-72s, all moving forward here. And there's only one Leo 1A1 over here. The Leo 2A4 out of the center, not moving so far, which I find peculiar, as I feel like that's the perfect unit to use here right now. Smoke coming up, T-72 M1D moving around. Now the Leo 2A4 finally starts to get moving. T-72 M1D here gets stopped. Jaguar gets a missile out. Okay, that goes for the Shilka. It doesn't quite get the Shilka. Leo 1 goes down, and this is a pretty interesting opener, as the north, Stardekk gave a bit up, but the south here could really escalate quickly. Fenchbear and Martyr passing by the BMP2 and the Piata mech that have a T-weapon that can blow them up, and Scuff is in a world of trouble here right now.
Yeah, this Piekota Schmeck SVD and the BMP carrier getting what is called an exploitation, which means that you exploit the moment when your enemy is weak and doesn't have a solid front line, and getting them just a little bit further out there, because those buildings, it's very difficult to organize units to get rid of those Piekota Schmeck. They're going to be acting as a stopper, as recon.
Oh, no! The SU-27!
Huge!
How did it even see it?
The Honker, I think the Honker had vision.
No. Something on the low ground. I think the BRM1s just pushed right in that moment. Yeah, the something on the low ground just pushed right in there in that moment. Oh, and the SU-30 goes down, but that Leo 2A4 going down. Oh, that might be game here. As now the Polish wave can just move forward. That was supposed to be the stopgap, but it went down here to a side shot. Like, it's supposed to be the one that can't be one-shotted by the Leo 2A3 only having 16 frontal armor. But if you get a side shot, that doesn't matter in the end. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, BRDM once going down here at least. Martyr doesn't quite find the kill there. Leo 2A3 still could move forward, but it's a +2 now for Stardekk. Coop with double vet moving around. The Leo 2A3 here trying to find some kill. Cluster Tornado trying to come around as well. If the T-72s could get killed off here, that would still be big, but the Leo 2A3 is super blind here. Pushing it this deep is really risky. It gets bailed out! Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah.
And the T-72M
immediately with the pinks, and yeah.
And T-72 up north did not get killed despite the cluster IDS striking it. Like, this has to be game at this point. Like, the Scuff just the engagements. That was lucky, but I still don't think it was due to luck. Like, the opener was very powerful. The opener still functioned, and Leopard 2 did engage. Leopard 2 did get hits. The T-72s did get hit also, but but Stardekk played around it. Of course, the bailout combined with the Leo 2 getting killed, combined with the cluster not getting a kill at a perfect hit, and then also getting tagged by the Cube. There was absolutely no way that Fifth Panzer was getting back into there. Fifth Panzer used to be the armored division that was just slightly cheaper than all the other armored divisions, so they could get a group of Leopard 1s and 2A3s on the board faster than the others. But with T-72s, the numbers advantage and the scaling advantage in how fast can you scale is absolutely with the Polish. So if you are if you're going against the Polish, and the Polish already have a massive numerical superiority, and also have managed to get a recon opener that did not lose them any map control, yeah, that's a bad space. I don't blame Scuff at all for this.
Yeah, really, really strong opener here from Stardekk. Getting a first score really quickly. We didn't have a game like this in our last series, so that's changing it up and shows us that these players are playing fast and hard from the get-go. And it's going to be interesting to see what Scoob does now to try to adapt to these kind of openers, because I feel like Stardekk, now having tasted blood, will try to do this again. So let's see what the next map will be. And yeah, we're gonna go to a short break, guys, and then we're gonna be back with game number 2. Quick break. See you in a second. So we're back into it, guys. Game number 2. And they really like the boring stuff. First death row, now 2 lakes, but hey, what can we do? And the matchup, 5th Panzer for Stardekk on the right side here, in blue this time around. And Scuff is this pack division with 79th, with the T80 PV ICDs and all of that stuff coming around. And to remind everybody what this is all about, Matcherino is by now up to $327.50. Thanks to all of your support, guys. Much appreciated. Yep, Termini coming in lately here with another $10. Thanks a lot there. And if you want to raise this a bit further and want to help us get to the next stretch goal, which is going to be that the Division 3 winners also get $20 out of the prize pool, then consider helping that out with the link in the chat. And yeah, let's jump right back in here. And yeah, if you haven't clicked the follow button, if you haven't clicked the like button, maybe do that as well. So yeah, sellout part over. Let's get into the action, Chloride. What do you think about this tank matchup?
Yeah, so I mean, I understand if they want to get the quick games, the all-in games to kind of warm up, get some points under your vest. But looking at Scuff here, very standard, very meta, very kind of expected. Spetsnaz crew supported by some Motorasvet and BMPs. And those will work as ersatz forward deployment troops that will contest the town on Emma, which is the area where most attacks and opener all-ins happen. Behind them, you have a helicopter. You have actually a very good helicopter with the Kokon missiles. You have a tank. You have a couple of radar AAs with the OSAS. And on the other hand, the investments onto the top side of the map are minimal. And on the other hand, what we are once again seeing that Stardekk refuses to play for the type. And a long time ago, I actually played against Stardekk, and Stardekk was playing 79th and was attempting the same tactic that I think he's going to be attempting now, which is an opener breakthrough into the left side back point, to the sign, 2-point zone sign. And for the record, I won that game, but maybe Stardekk has... because it is actually very, very, very easy to defend the back point if the enemy tries to push through there. It's very difficult to move units from the blue side out there without actually getting spotted. And now we can see the Stardekk is opening actually with 2 rocket planes, which have the Vulcan cannons and will be able to take out the Mi-2s. The OSAs are going fast behind the helis and will most likely be able to tag the rocket planes if they start diving. But it is crucial here for the Stardekk that Scuff does not get the info here, and I think the info is getting seen. The Mi-2 is still alive. Neither of those Mi-2s get shot down. OSA getting tagged here, and oh no, I'm going to check the vision. Yes, he sees. He did not see what units are coming, but did see that a convoy of units is going up north. And now Stardekk's plan here has partly been compromised, and Stardekk will immediately start moving fast up towards sign. Yeah, we're seeing Scuff by an ATGM and a BMP-2 to protect it. This is the moment here. Alouettes need to spot something for the rocket plane. The rocket plane needs to kill this, and the Aufklärers needs to get into the zone and prevent enemy reinforcements from getting in there. Meanwhile, Scuff will most likely try to push with the Spetsnaz crew. They already have come to the eastern corner of the town. And after they spot an enemy, the tank and the helicopter will likely start trying to fight them. Defensive Jaguar 2 and Leopard 1A5 deployment coming here from Stardekk, which will be able to delay this at the very least, and with a good luck get a TOW2 hit on some of the Soviet vehicles. But so far, it is up to the Lukes, and the Aufklärer is now pushing deep into the back point.
Yeah, the Aufklärer's getting there now. Fenchbear coming around as well. And this is interesting, as Stardekk also now puts a good amount of defensive forces into the south, but it's now both sides pushing for the rear zone of the other player. Conquerors is there, getting annihilated by the Lukes, so yeah, the F4Fs, I'm surprised they didn't do any rocket runs yet, as if they would have gotten off the rocket runs in the north, could have really done a decent amount of damage, and the reload time with the rockets is something that makes the Zunis really that great because it's only 30 seconds to get the Zunis backloaded, and that is pretty big. So
Yeah, I
Stardekk
just
setting up
have
for a defense, the aggressor in the north going on. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I was watching the POVs of the players that you unfortunately can't show on stream, and yeah, I don't think there just wasn't any targets. Scuff hit their units well enough. The recon just didn't find anything that would be targeted by the rocket planes. But yeah, right now the BMP2s are superior to the Lukes completely in this fight here. But now that the Leopard 2A4 is starting to, oh no, the Roland 3 got taken out before. Was the Roland 3 on a move command?
I believe
Stardekk
so.
does not have AA here.
I believe so. Move command
Oh.
AA is how you move AA because otherwise the planes, it struggles with shooting at planes and it just wastes missiles. But yeah, still mistake there. Mi-24 there getting a good kill. Su-25 coming around now to try to finish off the Leo. Oh no, it finds a shot! And it gets the Leo 2A4. Disaster this time on the other side around. Leo 2A4s are not welcome in the semifinal, it seems. And yeah, second one already dying. Stardekk's complete game here is disintegrating, and Scuff this time way better prepared for the aggression that Stardekk seems to bring once more here in this game.
Yeah, Milan 2s and Jaguars are fighting against the T80. T80 gets pushed back for the moment here, but allowing the infantry to get into the zone here, and for Stardekk. And Stardekk does have a decent bit of map here, but is lacking recon, is lacking anti-air, is lacking well tanks actually. And this I'm afraid that with the units that Scuff has bought up northwest, I think Scuff could start doing dual aggro. And if Scuff does dual aggro from this position, having traded up so well and already pushing infantry into the industrial zone, this is looking really, really bad for Stardekk here.
Yeah, Scuff just has to be careful to not overextend like Stardekk just did. There's only one armored unit around there, that's the T80BV AZD. If that gets taken out, his units there could collapse completely as well. So has to just be a bit more patient than his opponent. Obviously has the side that has a bit more cover in its way onto the enemy rear zone as well. It's a lot easier to push towards Leonid than it is to push towards Sign. But yeah, Stardekk there getting caught out on the open field, that helicopter flank really breaking his neck with killing off the Leo, and then also forcing the smoke in the wrong direction so that the Su-25 could find the attack. Fantastic play by Scuff, and a really disaster of an early game here for Stardekk. Still has the zones, still isn't too far behind in the points, and as I said, could maybe turn all of this around with a victory here in the southern engagements. Leo 2A4 coming up, and the T80BV is already hit, but it just really has to take good engagements now. Osa not getting a hit against the FOF, but pushing it back immediately. Let's see what Scuff can do here now.
Yeah, with the Leopard 1A5 getting hit by the Motorasvedka and not having control of the southern forest, the beach forest here, that's really big, because as long as the Motorasvedka can exist here, this means that Stardekk is going to have to invest infantry into dealing with this. And oh no, now as the Osa hits the rocket plane can't even get rid of this Motorasvedka here. The recon advantage being for Scuff is huge here. These engagements, the engagement from the West German side are not being done well because they just can't see what they're shooting at. The enemy has to engage first, basically, when your opponent has a Spetsnaz GRU advantage. The SU8, oh, there's already an Akatsiya, an Su-25AT coming back for another run with only a single Gepard and a Roland a bit out of position here, but the Gepard is powerful and manages to get enough damage done to suppress it and finally get the kill with the Roland.
Yeah, Su-25 down.
First victory for a long time.
It's a really important one though, but Jaguar at the same time getting shot by the Conquerors, that is not something that you can allow to happen. Smoke needs to pop there. You can't allow that Jaguar to die. That is such an important unit here. Jaguar finally smokes off. Rocket plane trying to come in for the Osas. Can it fight the right spot? Nope. No. It misfired. Goes down there. BO-105 went down as well. Yeah, Osas currently some of the best AA in the game. And if you upvet them, they get even crazier. So the BRDM here now coming around. You can't play with helicopters if the enemy has also really at the moment in a lot of maps and a lot of matchups. And you can't really use planes that easily against them either, as they have a good rate of fire and they have a good accuracy as well.
Yeah, I think this map, this match here, and the reaction that Scuff did to fight off the breakthrough is really shows why the recon helicopter suicide opener has become so standard. The information is so valuable. It is way more valuable than saving a 30-point unit, and that sacrificing the 30-point unit gave the information and allowed for that immediate perfect concave to just completely dismantle Stardekk. And that is one of the problems with this the helicopter recon heli meta. I think is that it does keep people.
Oh no!
Oh,
BMP2
no,
gets a side shot. I'm not quite sure what happened. It looks frontal, but it got the kill on a still pretty full life Leo 2A4C. It must have counted as a side shot, or it was a weird crit. But yeah, it gets the instant kill there. Oh, that's the second Leo 2A4 down here. Just the revenge that he needed for the Leo 2A3 that got bailed out last game. And yeah, it seems like 5th Panzer is just bad luck in this series. As yes, it didn't go well for Scuff, and it just goes really terrible here for Stardekk right now as well. I don't see how Scuff is losing this now.
Yeah, I think what was happening was that it was angling to put his front armor to the only enemy it could see, which was the Motora Svedka, which was slightly further to the right. And as it was turning, the missile hit right at the edge of its side armor. That's what I think is happening. And so far, no attack coming to the north, but Scuff is just playing it safe, not trying to do anything risky. There's still 30 minutes left, and it's leading on all accounts. No reason to try to do extra attacks up north. The Akatsiya is so close here that any infantry concentrations, even singular tanks, if they are spotted by the Motora Svedka or the Svedka's DRU, they can't stand there for a long time. This means that the Stardekk's units need to be moving all around the place. This means that the tanks and ATGMs of the Soviets will get more chances to shoot. And the Akatsiya is already aiming, now trying to get rid of the Leopard 1A5.
Yeah, Smoke here tries to separate infantry and tanks. Stardekk really using the Panzer Mörser nicely there. Leo 2A4 is now engaging the TADBV IZD. IZD usually the weaker tank there, but gets the hit, whilst the Leo didn't. So that is quite nice. Another SU-25 AT trying to come around, get good smokes there. Roland 3 doesn't find the hit, but at least does a decent amount of stress. Gepard got rescued in the north as well. Dodged one BMP2 Conquest shot. But the +4 here already going strong nonetheless for Scuff. And we have 3 TAD BVIZDs by now on the battlefield versus only 1 Leo 2A4 at this point. So the numbers game is fully in favor of red side here.
Yeah, so far here, the slow tactic of building more, buying more T80s, buying more BMP2s, even buying some Rapidas here. Scuff is taking his sweet time, has no interest in overextending, has no interest in allowing Stardekk to get back into the game. He recognizes that he doesn't have to do anything except stay still, so he's going to stay still. He's going to have Stardekk be the more desperate one, Stardekk be the one that takes risks. And that is exactly what is happening here, with Stardekk's IFVs and Leo engaging this line up the northwest of the point, losing a martyr.
And the Leo is not full life, so that's really risky. They're pushing in close, as there is a Rapira coming up, there is still the BMP2, there is a T80, another T80 already on the way, S25 in the sharking here in the skies as well. Stardekk got the CV cleared out, stopped the tick, so that's a pretty important start here if you want to stabilize this game. But the follow-up here is not going to be easy. SU-25 pushed back. We have the next Leo 2A4C here, which potentially might, I believe, is the last that will come. Ooh! TADBV IZD gets routed there for a second. The Leo 2A4 could now maybe find a kill here. Shoots against Spetsnaz GIU though, doesn't try to hunt down the TADBV there. Leo 284 now coming around. It doesn't see the TADBV though. The smoke somehow blocking that, and it's only finding the Modred red guy. That's still a good find, but the Leo 284 C in the north goes down. Oh no. It's not going well for Stardekk at all. The TADBV gets the kill there, and yeah, this was the chance for the comeback, and it's completely fumbled now. TADBV is still on full numbers, whilst the Leo 284 is down to 1. That's not the situation you want to have. Finally, an IZD goes down here, but there's still 2 of them versus 1 Leo 284C, and more units coming up. The Mars shot, that could be interesting. It's something that we have seen a couple of times.
The Mars had been holding fire, aiming at the perfect shot, and Stardekk never actually fired it. And if it had fired a salvo, there could have the other BMPs and maybe even the T-80 would have been destroyed here. But now it's firing at the second target. Oh, and right as the enemy getting routed here means that a secondary strike is likely.
Oh, this should work out. No, the Leo one not able to follow it up. Both Leos here off Stardekk, once more pretty low. Needs to keep the smoke wall up. Is changing the smoke wall now towards another part, but there is still a TADBV IZD. Once the smoke clears up and the Leo 284 is standing there, the IZD can still hunt this down, so I'm not sure if this is the right move. Iltis Führung goes down as well as the Motostralki push in. We'll get the Milan 2 here most likely in a second as well. Leo 185 goes down, and yeah, this is still not a game of good trades here for Stardekk right now. Gebhardt about to get cleared up here as well. And there we go, TADBV IZD and T55 engaging the Leo 284C, pushing it back. More Leo 1A1s coming up, but the Leo 284C not being repaired here is a major issue.
Yeah, the Mars has not gotten the results that you would want from having a 300-point artillery unit this early, this close here. It's not that Stardekk is not playing seriously. It's not that Stardekk is not trying and doing better than basically anybody else in this situation, at least compared to standard WARNO players. Here we see an attempt to get back in the game with air, with the Coops and the OSAS immediately shooting down the first plane, and the second one going to go down in a moment, I believe. Counter battery hitting the Mars here, even though that Mars does not have supply, so it is not relevant right now. Last infantry units are getting slowly pushed back into this right side corner of the zone, and as long as the Spetsnaz GRU can have this perfect position to spot, and there is no comparable recon from the other side, especially not inside the town, these engagements will just slowly trade down for Stardekk. Here, Armada Milan getting sniped by an Agoda missile.
Oh, TADBV ICD pushed back here. Oh, it takes out the Leo 284 as the Leo 284 gets its shot out, and yeah, sure, Stardekk takes out the TADBV finally, but loses all Leo 284Cs now, and that's supposed to be your massive advantage in this matchup. The Leo 283, it's pretty comparable to the TADBV, so that's not a major advantage in the killing power. And having lost all of those now, whilst being behind this much, it's going to be problematic. Leo 1A1s here, rolling forward, trying to get back in there, but they have little support. One Fernspeer. A double Leo 1A1 could maybe clean up the BMP2s. The TADBV is currently not directly on the front line, but what is there really left? The Mars currently reloading, will take a long while till it can fire another round, and there is just no critical mass here for 5th Panzer on the battlefield.
Yeah, the rocket plane is going to be diving here just a second, and it's likely gonna hit because this is in the vision of the first bears.
Yeah, gets out
and it
here.
turns the right way.
Gets away from the Ulsas and the Coops. Pretty fortunate there. But BMP2 is pushing around here on the side. Martyrs don't spot it. Oh no. Yeah, another Martyr eating it. Might retaliate. Nope. Leo 2, BMP2 micro there too good. Leo 1A1's not able to get on top of it. And there's just too much red here right now. The Soviets really doing a good job here under Scuff. And even the north is not really secure for Stardekk. So if Scuff would want to just change the focus, they could make it another big issue in the north. So Stardekk just has to find some big successes here, like one-shotting a TADPV with something, but I'm not quite sure how that is supposed to happen. Two Legs doesn't
Yeah,
allow for that.
those TAT should have been one-shotted a few engagements ago, I think. If Stardek actually wanted to come back here, I think the damage has been done, and I think what this reminds me from Scuff is that this looks a lot like Pro Comi playing two legs. This is careful, it is methodical, it keeps the tanks in the back line, it only moves up with infantry. The pro commie strat of having the big fighting line and never engaging the enemy with the full fighting line unless the enemy gets tired and actually pushes you. And that is when you unleash all of your damage at the same time. And it's really on these simpler maps like the two lakes where this engagement is very easy to build from the red side. It's just now kind of, I wouldn't say it's unbeatable, but there are no easy solutions there. The Yeah, you play carefully. You make sure to never overextend, and you win.
Yeah, BO105 gets shut down. Mars here trying to find another salvo on the TADPV IZD. It's about to be reloaded. That could still be a way in here with the Leo 283 number reaching 2 again, so that you maybe can find some good kills. But the TADPV IZD is moving before the Mars can find a shot. Well, has to switch it up now. F4F trying to get some rocket run in here. It's not working out just yet though. F4F gets pushed back, and Panzer Grenadiers. Oh, good find there. TADPV IZD actually overextending a bit, but good smoke from our player in red here as well. TADPV IZD does fall in the end. Mars now trying to find a kill itself. Is this maybe a slight overextension? I would say so, but it's not critical yet. TADPV IZD number is still high enough. There is enough follow-up by now with the Rapiras and so on that will be tough to push through as well. So yeah, there is still a lot of room. But now at least a couple more kills here for Stardekk. The situation gets a bit more potentially manageable. But the Conquerors and Rapira situation, the AT guns and the ATGM positions here, the anti-tank guided missiles in the building, just a bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean now.
Oh no! And as I say that, it all falls apart, as this is just not allowed to happen. Leo 23 showing side armor once more to a Conquerors, once more getting killed off. TADPV AZD doesn't die to the Mars, and oh no, that means there's just not enough time now to change this. Like, this was the one last chance here. Getting the TADPVs, and yeah, Stardekk realizes this as well. The Layer 283 was not allowed to die there, and the KD in the end heavily in favor of Scuff as well. This was another 5th Panzer disaster. Though, as it happened to each of the players once, it means that we are 1-1 in the score, and it means we will at least go to game number 4 here, as these players seem to be really on each other's level.
Yeah, the humors have been purged. The energies have been let out of the room now, and we can finally go in and play a real map.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting.
6-minute opener.
So yeah, quick break, guys, and then we're gonna be back with game number 3. And as it's 1-1 in score, let's see who can get back into the lead here. As we stay on basic maps, Vertigo being the next one. So all the 3 oldest ranked maps currently in the pool. Well, I guess Two Ways maybe counts as slightly older, but it wasn't around for a while. Being played here, and the matchup is everything but basic though, as this is a matchup of 2 really different divisions that are pretty close in name though, as we have 9th Panzer on the right side, fresh from the GDR, and then 9th US Infantry, the light, the prototype division with all the fancy Humvee dune buggies, and especially the CUCV coming around. So, what do you think is the game plan here for Scuff with this 9th US Infantry?
Honestly, like outside of a full-on recon attack on both sides, followed up by a series of ATGMs and very good infantry, is supported, of course, by a large selection of ATGMs, both vehicle and infantry transported, and a small, decent enough tank force that you can use to give fire superiority to your infantry in some areas. That's really the only thing I can predict here. Looking at these deployments, they do seem to be going very aggressively, trying to take all the every piece of speed, every opportunity, every piece of momentum that you can like gather up and actually use it right at the opener. Because 9th Panzer, unlike 20th Panzer, which it does resemble in some ways, 9th is very slow to build up relatively. They do have the BRM-1s, and we already saw Stardekk using them in the first game. They do have the recon helicopters, but they lack the forward deploying special forces recon. They only have the Aufklärers, which are decent enough. No Honker Rus, no 120 kph vehicles. And this means that the recon advantage getting pushed by these incredibly fast Fab dune buggies. And there's even a 20 millimeter Gatling equipped Kiowa recon heli here. All of this, it's either going to work really well or it's not going to work at all. There is no middle ground here, I don't think. Either the shock value and the takeover of ground with the Favs pushes Stardekk to play slightly more passively and the opener be a bit more careful, and this opening of strategic possibility will theoretically allow Scoop to take a lot of ground and get a lot of the positions, even without necessarily having to fight for them.
Yeah, I think the
Other
game
of
plan of Stardec is really interesting as well, as usually we see most focus around Bravo and Alpha and the center village, but Armored Division especially usually don't go for Delta and Charlie. But Stardec is all out rushing that Delta spot and leaving Bravo completely open. So yes, Scuff is trying to spread out. That is already not quite the standard play on this map, but it makes sense with 9th. But Stardek is kind of playing against where his strong points are in this division, but over-investing so much into that one spot that he tries to break it early. I guess counting on that his division can clean up Bravo and Alpha anyway in the late game, and that Delta and Charlie would be the pain for his divisions. So by getting those points that will be harder for his division to get in later, early on, just trying to throw the enemy off balance. And really, it's something we haven't seen in a long, long while. A Delta push, and I don't think we ever have seen it from a division like this.
Yeah, I think the Favs and the fact that the 9th lacks tanks and has to play with a lot of ATGMs, and the fact that the TOW2 is a perfect T-72 killer, these facts I think make Stardekk be wary of doing the standard tank all in into Bravo, because if you do a tank all in into Bravo, you can very easily be met by a perfect concave of the Citadel up north that is taken with the recon snipers and FAVs, and then in range of the FAVs. So I think Stardek might want to avoid walking into a very obvious trap. And this refusal to walk into the trap, I think, might mean that there's going to be a long-standing infantry defense on Bravo, and that this game is going to be kind of Stardekk trying to siege the middle citadel and the Bravo point to start getting into a tick. Because if Stardekk is going to relinquish Bravo immediately, I doubt Scuff is going to leave those entry roads uncovered. And with the numerical superiority up north, I think I doubt that the sniper is going to do anything to those BRM1s.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The Toad 2 Humvee there obviously is going to be a nuisance as well, and if they can find some good damage, that could be devastating as well. But the gameplay against Ninth is don't let your stuff get murdered in the early game, and then just kill them off in the late game, because they don't have standing powers. They have a couple of M60s, which they got slightly buffed, but at the same time, the snipers got nerfed, the CLCV got nerfed in aim time, so the division is a bit weaker. MiG-23 versus F-16 here. F-16 and MiG-23 just outright trade there. Okay, that's fine for both sides. Both sides also investing into that. It's a bit better for Stardekk, as Stardekk has the helicopters out, but the Stingers are coming up in the rear, and there is at least one 20mm helicopter out here for Scuff as well that can at least push back the recon Me-2s if you want to.
Yeah, and those you get 20, you pay 25 points extra, and you get one less of them, I believe, and you get a 20 mil cannon. That's a pretty all right deal for a unit stat in a normal situation. But those extra points will slow. If you're going to sacrifice them, you're going to drive them right at the enemy convoy. You don't want to do that with an armed unit. You want to do that with an unarmed unit. So right now, it's possible that a little bit of recon knowledge does leave untaken because Scuff wants to keep that helicopter alive. Now the F-16 AA2, armed with the best heat-seeking missiles, the AIM-9Ms, does take out the enemy.
Yeah, the snipers did take out two Mi-2 Yearns, so they went down to the last one, but at least all the helicopters are off the board in the north. But Stardekk achieved what Stardekk wanted to achieve, didn't let the infantry division entrench in the town. But at the same time, though, I don't think Scuff is too unhappy with the current setting of the map. Has the +3 take up, and has the whole center citadel, whilst the helicopters are off the map already. Stinger gets taken out by the MiG-23. That's a bit annoying here. But the next fighter already out here. F-15 investment here. Scuff really doesn't want to give up the air control, and that's a big investment, but it might pay off in the long run, as air support is one way to get rid of the T-72s.
Yeah, so Scuff just a second ago started moving into Bravo, and now the Motorschützen RPG-27s and the rest of them open fire, and they meet the AGL Humvee, and the FAV will likely drive past the recon vehicle, and with no reinforcements coming to Bravo, I think this is going to be it's going to take a moment, but there is enough firepower for Scuff to take care of this. Now, Scuff does not want to overinvest immediately into taking Bravo, because those points could maybe be required to stop the main force of Stardekk, which is up top right now. And with the FAV being in position to give recon information, it might actually go even deeper. There are better positions to gain that info. That info might give Scuff the understanding of how much or how little there is going to be to coming to threaten Bravo. And that info will be crucial, because any unnecessary points on Bravo might be the ones that could have stopped Stardekk up north. And as with the last game, and even technically the first game, I like that Stardekk is trying aggressively to be unpredictable, trying to play against the meta, kind of showing that showing us that he wants to win by being a little bit trickier, being a bit unpredictable, not playing into the mold and driving into the traps that people like Scuff plan for them. And in the second game, absolutely did not work, but that's also largely due to the fact that Two Lakes just doesn't like you playing innovatively.
Yeah, and This game here, Stardekk also got some kills onto some Humvee toes and so on in the north. The containment that Scuff maybe could have set up if the Humvee toe would have been microed better didn't happen. So Stardekk is flexible now. Seed coming in, trying to hunt the Shilka. Can it find it? No. It misses 2 missiles. Unfortunate timing there for Scoof. But the Toe Cobra at least still around. The Toe 2A there still in the center. So Stardekk can't push south yet. But if the northern points got taken, it will stop the tick. And that's a situation that I think Knife Panzer is kind of okay with. Being 300 something points behind is not the end of the world. And might even find the Humvee here for free, as Scoof is maybe trying a bit too desperate to finding the rear point zone here, as the BRM-1 is still moving around there, and the Humvee drives right in front of it. Humvee won't be able to even capture the zone. And yeah, BRM, not the most amazing gun, but BMP-2 will end that quickly. There we go. So a free Humvee there for Scoof. That's something that you, for Stardekk, that's something you always take.
Yeah, so far we're seeing an AGL Humvee try to cut off the reinforcement route up north. That's very smart, even if you don't really get any kills. But right now you actually might get a kill. The AGL could have enough firepower to kill the Cube that is armored, but only with a single point.
T-72 there interfering, gets the kill, but goes down to the Paved Claw. Oh, the Paved Claw F-16 striking again. It has the good Maverick missiles with 30 damage, 4 of them, and it has a hard-hitting 30mm gun as well. This thing is an absolute beast, and the single coup here has to be careful. It does get gunned down there a bit as well, only having 1 missile left here. Shilkas and more AA coming up. That's the 2 things that Ninth Panzer can do. It can air spam, and it can be annoying with its light stuff early on. And the light stuff early on, I think Stardekk did pretty well, but the air spam here is starting to get annoying.
Yeah, the AT plane being out there, of course, Stardekk didn't see that seed plane had run out of weaponry, so kept microing the radar AA. Now with another Shilka, another Coupe, more E-class coming out here, I have a feeling that the Coupes are going to attrition away the F-16 ATs and the F-15s sooner or later. I mean, the siege micro of Stardekk is of course top quality, considering this is a tier 1 semifinal game, and but this will mean that Stardekk will not likely be able to use the helicopters for a moment, seeing that they are basically just free kills for like the next 10 minutes, let's say.
Yeah, 2 urn goes down, F-15s and F-16s here still hunting for more. Light Rifle Dragons finally get pushed back here, but Stardekk needs to stabilize a bit more. The northern setup is getting better. It starts to get some more AA out. Coop coming out. MiG-23 here on the hunt now, but that's gambling. Mid too greedy here, most likely. Yeah, realizes that MiG-23 turns around. F-16, I don't believe will get around there. Important that Stardekk doesn't lose this MiG-23, as you want to always have some fighters so that you can shoot at seed planes whilst your coops are turned off. And yeah, can push them back at least so that your coops then can kill the other things. So MiG-23 here is not allowed to die. It's a 2 veterancy MiG-23 as well, so even more important that this stays alive. Stardekk also tries to be annoying with some BMP-2s in the rear, in the north right now. Light rifles get around it though. F-16 still around, getting some more damage in here. And the Coop's not quite ready to fire back yet, but it's 3 of them on the battlefield now. Stardekk stabilizing. And yeah, Scuff can't let that happen for forever. Maybe has to find something else here. Did a good amount of damage lately, but if Stardekk can get a T-72 blob with endless Coops behind it, I don't think Scoop will have a good late game here.
Yeah. Oh, that MiG-23 dodged so many rounds from the F-16, and F-16 finally getting taken out by Coops. But this revealed that there are 2 extra Coops on the field, aside from the one that is currently out of ammunition. And it will probably affect the way that Scoof keeps buying air here. We're seeing that Stardekk is trying to stretch the front line here, and a wide front line is good for an armored division, and wide front line allows for more points of opportunity for the tanks to move in and start shooting, and it means that the short range defense provided by the infantry has to be way wider as well. And currently, Stardekk has no artillery and only has bought a rocket plane, actually, an Su-22 rocket. Well, another 30 ECM cheap rocket plane, much like the F4F. A very good combination with very little ammunition, but good and cheap, but for a good price.
Yeah, and
A good
Stardekk also has a target for it already, as Scuff tried to be sneaky here with a FAV TOW 2 trying to get into the rear, but the MI2 did spot it and did mirror it now, knows where it is. So the MI24 now is coming in as well to kill that off, and that's would be a great find. If this goes down without dealing any damage, that would be big. Oh, Coop is not turned off in the south. But the Shilka is in front of it. Okay, seed plane flying over Coops, flying over Iglas, flying over the Su-22. Seed plane taken out. This is a really big start here. Scuff having unescorted seed planes is not the way to go. The TOW 2 vehicle goes down as well. The F-16 seat number 2 doesn't find anything here either. Coop is out of missiles though, so it at least will get out, but one seatplane down, the other one pushed back. That's really great knowledge now for Stardekk. Means the Coops can stay on for a while now, and that means air dominance, and with that, it also means he can play a bit more on the ground. A unit that did a lot of work here on the other side, though, was the TOW Cobra. Realizing that there was no Iglas around, they did do a lot of aggressive pushing, killed off some CVs in the north, killed off a lot of light vehicles and infantry, and it allowed Scuff now to get back into the zone for now. Let's see if Scuff actually can get a tick back up and get a contest really onto the Delta point up here.
Yeah, but the fact that Scuff is buying anti-air and supply doesn't really speak to me that they're going to start attacking here. The supply here is obviously to keep up the fight and revive the large infantry squads that you get here, but there just doesn't seem to be the offensive edge right now. Stardekk is moving. Now that Stardekk has wrestled some amount of air control for themselves, the MI2 and the Hind can go around here and pick targets of opportunity. And getting any of the singular units spotted and killed here, as the BRM-1s and Aufklärers are also moving to build up the front line, I have a feeling that Bravo could very easily go to Stardekk in the future 10 minutes here. But and Stardekk agrees buying 2 tanks, one of them going to Bravo, and a BMP-2 to support it.
Yes, but at the same time, Scuff, TOW Cobras start to take out a couple more units. His engineered dragons are in there. His National Guard rifle leader is in there. So if he can get the north under control, he can give up Bravo. He can fall back a bit. He has still full control over the center. So yes, it's still 27 minutes, but he starts to get the ground and the staying power here that he needs to have as 9th if he wants to survive a long game here. The center position here obviously super essential, but he also starts to get back into the north, and that is key. If Stardekk could have just built a full fortress around that, this game most likely would be over quite quickly. But with Scuff about to get back in there, the situation might change. BMP-2 goes down in the south as well, so Stardekk at least being delayed a bit longer there. But Scuff is about to push the National Guard leader in there, and as he killed the CV with the helicopter, there's not going to be a contest in the capturing here in the north.
Yeah, the tick is gonna, but I mean, this is a single point tick and 2-point tick after a moment, and that's with the Eagles going in here, and if the F-16A gets taken out right now, oh, the Eagle gets tagged, oh, that's big, that's huge. The Eagle's gonna be out for a moment, and now a second salvo getting launched at the F-16 that gets driven back by the Shilka. F-16 does survive, but still out of commission for the moment, and yeah, this is an. I have a feeling that this here now is a defensive transformation for 9th. I don't really see 9th buying any of the fast units that they can do their raiding on. The TOW Cobra was very valuable, but right now I have a feeling that this game is going to be carried by infantry engagements, supported by ATGMs whenever the East German tanks get out there and are spotted. And on the other hand, we see Stardekk starting to flex some of their own air power with a Chaparral weapons team actually taken out.
The
And
Sharpie
now,
team there taking out one
no,
plane. The seed plane goes down. It at least got the Shilka. That will allow the Toe Cobra to be a bit more maneuverable. The Coops don't want to be on the front line. SU-22 HE goes down on the other side as well. The Sharpie in the middle killed off 3 planes there together with the Stinger. They got a helicopter, a fighter, and an SU-22. So good kills here in the end. Still for the moment for Scuff when it comes to points. But losing the seed plane, obviously... strategic disaster in the long run, potentially, as now the Coops can't stay on forever, and they will tick off your planes eventually, if they can go far enough forward. As Stardekk now is setting up the push in the south, is losing control over the northern town, especially as the sniper M82s there are now pushing up against the Pioneer Flamethrower there as well. Oh, they didn't get the kill there on the transport,
no.
so the sniper is going to go down, but the T-72 gets killed off in the south.
Side shot by the dragon.
Oh, the dragon just dying a second later. But, oh, that is painful. That means Stardekk is not going to get in here anytime soon. The BMP-2s got pushed back. The T-72 is down. Another T-72 was bought for the north. And now Scuff is going to stick at this +2 a good bit longer. And this is exactly where 9 wants to be at this moment in time. Having the tick, being annoying, having the enemy on not that much armor, only 1 T-72 right now on the battlefield, a lot of BMPs coming around, sure, but you can one-shot those with your toes, and yeah, Stardekk needs to get the armored blob going on, the iron fist that you want to set up with the T-72s, but it's not happening right now.
Yeah, losing all of these BMP2s or losing that T-72 for no reason, really just a slight overextension there, slight miss micro. This is all of this is just filling the map, and already we can see that the massive front line is currently held up. That a few minutes ago, this was not the case. There were huge gaps all around the place here, but there's just so many good light rifles units, so many good TOW 2s, and even the NG TOWs, the TOW 1s getting mixed in here with the TOW 2s, which means that it is difficult immediately to realize or recognize which missile is being fired at you. So you also have to smoke against the TOW 1, and the TOW 1 will also be a target for the artillery that was just bought.
Yeah. The T-Chap coming around. We had the stream down for 4 seconds there because NVIDIA drivers not liking WARNO right now, and WARNO not liking NVIDIA drivers, so that crashed the stream there for a second, but we are likely back online without much delay, so everything is going fine here, guys. Yeah, it's hopefully Yujin can figure that out soon, hopefully before next weekend, so that we can cast the finals live without any of these kind of interruptions. But it's at least this time around not a full-on crash, not a full-on black screen. And yeah, we are fully back in here. The National Guard rifle leader having the contest, Stardekk setting up more forces here. Brings up artillery now as well. Artillery could be a game changer as well, as the infantry numbers here for the blue side in the north are pretty good though. All the light rifles there are nice, and this TOW Cobra micro, that's really impressing me out of Scuff. Like, the amount of work that he gets out of these 6 hit point helicopters is huge.
Yeah, we got the ground launch Hellfire getting sniped out by the rocket plane that is leaving without any counterfire, like a bandit. That's a really nice kill there for Stardekk. The ground launch Hellfire COCV, you only get, what, 3 of those, so that's 1 done. And taking out the Chaparral as well, forcing a new buy of 2 Chaparrals. But those things are really cheap, actually. They're 85 points with a 20-point transport. And they transport very quickly as well, faster than the standard Chaparral does.
Yeah, engineered dragons moving into the north. TOW Cobra there, still realizing all the Shilkas have been sniped, so it can push forward. And the lack of Eagles there is pretty annoying for Stardekk. TOW Cobra here getting a good amount of kills, and now Scuff tries to make it even wider, tries to go for Charlie as well, while still having the +1 going on. Stardekk about to get more units into the south, but loses control over the forest right side of Bravo as all the infantry there got cleaned out. That can potentially be a disaster as well. If there is enough American infantry in there, you never push through that into Bravo again. We have seen that too many times, that tank divisions got stuck in that forest fight, And this could spell doom here for Stardekk as well if they don't get that forest back under control.
Yeah, I was thinking that this game would go with Stardekk massing up a tank force up north and then pushing down further south. But so far, what seemed to have happened was the Stardekk just overextended slightly, lost a couple of engagements, especially against the Toe Cobra. The fact that the shield got repeatedly gun runned by planes, including the F-15s, keeping it stunned. All of this little micro here from Scuff just allowed him to win that and trade a bunch of very crucial units for some pretty cheap and replaceable infantry and cars. Now Stardekk is forced to fight this urban counterattack, which requires your artillery, which requires massed troops. Air support is Stardeck's favorite way to do this, but the chaparrals are very powerful, and they are once again even more extra targets for artillery. And if you start investing into artillery, it's gonna take time for that investment to pay off. So Stardekk, being a little bit rash, a little bit decision oriented, let's say, not process oriented, but decision oriented. I think the air Stardekk will likely try to do this with the air attack, and the tanks are just taking too long to build up. Down south, we have another attack here with the T-72S, another T-72 and a BMP-2, but immediately first one getting toe-tooed up in the front armor.
Yeah, AGL coming around here, SU-22s coming around, getting shot. And the T-72S here in the south, it has the better frontal armor, which is really helpful. Can't be one-shotted. It also has the long-range severe missile, which can keep the enemy ATGM vehicles at bay and kill those off, but it costs you so much extra. 245 points is a really expensive vehicle, but it the long-range capabilities against tow vehicles, I guess, is one of the main reasons why Stardekk is bringing it around here. 18 frontal armor can be quite nice as well, but it doesn't go anywhere just yet. The artillery is not pushing in, and Scuff even pushing through here through the center, hunting down the artillery. Engineer Dragons are being pushed back, and good artillery bombing run there for the Su-22. That took out important units there for Scuff. No TOW-2 there in the south anymore, no light rifle dragons, but COCV is on the battlefield, and it is firing the fast and hard-hitting Hellfires. Gets the Shilka! Oh no! And the T-72 is in mortal danger there as well now.
Yeah, the fact that there are two infantry squads coming right now to help the attack on Bravo, and there's a coup protecting it from immediate divings, but it's just that the positions are so great for Scuff. Like, Scuff can just retreat and retreat and retreat, denying those T-72s good engagements. He can position his infantry on the left side of the Bravo forest, which means that it's going to be that the forest basically needs to be entered to actually fire at them, and that's where the light rifles can use the superior numbers against the DDR infantry, and the DDR infantry fire support will have to get in really close so they can be dragoned, that they can be shot with AT weapons. It's all just gonna take so much from Stardekk here to actually grind this down, and it wouldn't be difficult if he hadn't been losing units continuously since for like 10 minutes now. But that did happen, and the points lead is not unsurmountable. 1,000 points and 17 minutes, not that bad. But I have a feeling that Scuff is not going to make this easy. We now have a cluster MLRS firing and targeting at the area with the two coups, and presumably some other vehicles as well. And let's see if Stardekk realizes this and moves these coups away.
Yeah, artillery here moving around. Mortars coming in with some smoke play here from Scuff as well. And oh no, there comes the cluster. Oh, first coup immediately falls. Second one tries to move forward, but it's on the wrong part of the circle. Stardekk believing that the circle might be set up a bit different. Lucky so far, but still a couple more rockets coming in. Oh, yeah, it goes down there. SPW under pressure as well. gets pushed out there. The howitzer here trying to find the COCV, doesn't quite find it, but this is disaster. +2 and the AA is down, so the F-15s can now come in around. M60 finds the T-72 with a first shot as well. The T-72S at least able to retaliate here without too much damage, but the engineered dragons there also might found the BMP-1. Oh, this is all not the way Stardekk wants this to go. Motschützen run into the open, get shut down. Like, you can't lose your infantry as 9. If you don't have that much infantry to begin with, and you can't lose it like that in this matchup, as you need some spots where the infantry actually needs to win fights.
Rocket plane getting some numbers here, but now the masked Chaparral AA does take it out. And so far, I think the most promising attack here for Stardekk seems to be up north. Even the southern attack here, despite its build-up, there just doesn't seem to be enough here. Maybe if the Motto-Aufklärer can get in here and spot the NG tow, and then the T-72s can engage this NG tow. And but so far, the Patton tank has been doing horrible work against the Vanguard.
Stingers taking out the Mi-24s as well, and it's the classics being stuck at Bravo here that is happening. I also believe you're 2 or 3 seconds ahead, as you currently predict what's happening on the channel.
Okay,
and the National Guard tow coming in.
Your 4-second freeze,
yeah. And the artillery here coming around, trying to take out the Stingers, and the T-72 M1s and T-72Ss here trying to push in again. 3 coops in the south again, and more T-72s to come. And I believe Stardekk has to put all eggs into one basket now. Oh no, the COCV makes the T-72 M1. At least it doesn't quite kill it, but it makes it completely combat inefficient here once more. And yeah, Stardekk needs to find a way of dealing with this. Tries to kill the COCV with rocket artillery. That might work out. R60M, 70M. Yeah, finds the kill, COCV down, that's key, that's super important, as those units can be super annoying for forever. Humvee tow being invested into, and Stardekk needs to find a way to India now. Like, that's kind of the only way. You need to get a +4 now, otherwise you don't have enough time here for anything. And I just don't quite see how Stardekk is supposed to do that, but with T-72s, miracles can happen. And if the rocket artillery takes out the ATGMs, then maybe there's a way. Second, yes, it finds the tow as well. Okay. I start believing here. SU-22 HE, if that finds a good bombing run, maybe Stardekk can turn this all around here in the south.
Yeah, I mean, now that the aircraft here, 2 big hits, a big HE hit, and the tanks engaged at the Patton here. Oh, and the Eagle gets taken out, but the Eagle drives off the more important bomber.
Yeah, so the bomber is inefficient for a while here now. T-72S still around. Will get some shots out. One of the T-72 M1s still pretty combat inefficient. Oh, COCV number 2 gets killed off. Or number 3 that is. So COCV numbers here now, I believe, down to 0. And that is big. That is really, really big. It was not in the most important spot, but killing that off here as Stardekk means that your T-72s now will have an easier time. There's still a potential for a couple of tow 2s here, but most of the tows have been reduced as well. National Guard tows only having 16 pen, they don't do much. And so that means only the Dragon and the M60s here to be pushed through, and Stardekk might actually be able to do it now. This was such an important run here.
Humvee tow is moving in to gain an angle here, but the Humvee tows have enough firepower and you have enough numbers to fight the T-72s, but you can't do that in bad positions. With the GLH, the thing is, with range and insane speed and accuracy, those things can actually spot an enemy, move in, and get the kill. Tow 2 is just not good enough to do that and needs to stay on the defensive. But right now, the Tow 2 is getting a position here, is revealing itself.
Yeah, and also the Tow 2 gets outranged by a T-72S. That's the reason why the T-72S is here. It's supposed to deal with those Humvee tows, with its severe missile, as it can also trade, whilst the Humvee tow, obviously, if it gets hit, it's dead. But The Engineered Dragons and the M60s here do a good job already. The T-72S never got moved around. Humvee now coming along for the T-72M1, making it completely combat inefficient once more. R60M coming in here, but only 10 minutes remaining. Cluster F-16 coming in. Oh, it doesn't get its drop off. Coops in the rear here are pretty low on fire, but they get one more hit, one more shot. At the same time, Northern push out of Scoof, really important there. Could change the whole situation as well. T-72S nearly down. Humvee still around here. Can the T-72S find the kill? No, it can't, and it doesn't have smoke anymore. Oh no, that might be the end of the T-72. It does get missed here, but the other one is in the mediocre spot as well. The Engineered Dragons are still there. The National Guard TOW is still there. And the T-72S is super low here.
Yeah, and it's not getting the hit against the TOW due to there's low cohesion here. The artillery hit perfectly, but there just was not enough mass to attack there. The TOW 2 and the Humvee TOW, not TOW 1 and the Humvee TOW crossfire, like almost taking out the. I believe it is the single extra health that you gain from reactive armor that actually saved the T-72 here. Now a second wave, the cheaper tanks going in there. The TOW 1 has lost its but there's a side shot coming in from the M65. M67 does not hit, gets targeted by the vehicles. So far, there's a leader. There's no infantry outside of a Motto-Aufklärer coming in, so it's only going to be tanks so far. So this attack here wants to break through. There is no fortification here. Stardekk wants to finish this.
Yeah, Stardekk is now trying to rampage through. Stardekk also with an important sniper in the north. He has one mod Schützen there that just shuts down the reinforcements coming in, killed the CV, so there will be no CV for Charlie here coming in from there. But another one is now being moved around by Scuff, and Scuff really just wants to win this by the points, 1,500 points. That's a massive lead, even with a +4. I don't believe Stardekk will quite get there, so Stardekk needs to +6, needs to +8 if possible, and that is going to be tough here, as Scoof still has an annoying amount of forces on the battlefield. Sure, he doesn't have anything aggressive anymore in the south, but he is still able to push through the north right now. T-72's there disengaging, and he is still having a TOW Cobra here for the defense, TOW 2A for the defense, and the T-72M1K gets stuck. Stardekk still with 0 points on the battlefield here right so far, and has to move forward. Humvee TOW at least goes down. The TOW Cobra needs to get shut down by something. Chilka is around, but it needs to get to the front line here, and that takes time, and time is something that Stardekk really doesn't have right now.
Yeah, just a plane. There is no air supremacy. Okay, now the first command tank getting taken out. Second command tank moving in, actually just trying to take cover against the TOW Cobra. There is no plane. There needs to be a plane. The Shilka is out of position. The Shilka is now finally being ordered to move in, but the Shilka is getting. Yes. Oh, thank God. The Shilka is going in on a hunt command now, so it doesn't get free killed by the TOW Cobra. The TOW Cobra as a quick response force has been so useful here, and it is not because Stardekk hasn't been buying the Shilkas. It's just that the Shilkas have always been either mis-microed or out of position.
Yeah, and the lack of Iglas here is a bit annoying for Stardekk. Has been the whole game, and now Scoof is even getting the tick back up with the capture of the northern point, back to a +2 here, and I think that Stardekk's chance is gone here now to change this game around. You don't get to 1,600 points here on this map with only 7 minutes remaining, as the Shilka finally does the job here, but an M60 is around, new ATGMs are around, and the force here of Stardekk is pretty depleted as well. He only has the tanks, no real recon around, no real staying power. The TOWs are still there, and the TOW 2 here should be able to at least keep it from reaching the rear zone, if not even reaching the first zone. So yeah, 1,600 points and counting. Stardekk is in a world of trouble here, and I just can't see him getting a +8 here, and that's kind of what he needs, as there's too much in the north here to get this going.
Yeah, even though Stardekk in the opener did not walk into the trap that the FAVs were setting up all on the southern part of the map, the Stardekk's early victories up north didn't really manifest into a trading advantage. And this lack of trading advantage and the fact that or kill advantage, and the fact that the ninth US is one of the fastest deployers in the game, it can get a lot of stuff on the board, and it can do it fast. It is an amazing division on defense, and the fact that this just no matter what's happening on the board, as long as the critical mass of tanks and planes were kept in check, not to mention the Shilkas, of course, in the early game, the ninth could always just keep on reinforcing and keep on buying some of these key units, such as the cluster rocket launchers, the FA-16s, and this map in general works well with fast deployed long range fighting, such as represented by the Humvee TOWs and the ground launch Hellfires. The ninth did not get the perfect game here, but Stardekk not managing to use the tank attack up north, that did not manage to follow that up by anything, and was forced into this slow and grinding game of trying to build up that force again and again, while the engagements that were taken were generally like light rifles fighting something that is not light rifles. Light rifles will probably win that, and with all the supporting weapons, all the smokes and the artilleries and all the planes dealing with the D-72s.
Yeah, and we also saw why usually you don't go for the town as the tank division. It's, yes, he got the town, but he stretched the front line so thin. And that's exactly the game that 9th wants to play, and 9th Infantry and
Yeah,
9th
no,
Panzer doesn't want to play. And yeah, so Stardekk kind of maneuvered himself into a disadvantageous position, trying to play with the shock value alone. But Scuff micro too well around it, got the air spam around, and that was good enough here to get this game through. And with only 4 minutes now, there is just really no way to get these points back. And yeah, really, really well played here by Scuff, playing the 9th in a long game. That's not an easy thing to achieve, but he just always kept the numbers low enough here for Stardekk that Stardekk couldn't just push through. And even in the end, the combined arms was not quite around for Stardekk to keep his stuff safe from helicopters, keep his stuff safe from air. And it's a really good show of how to play a light division here from Scuff. This is how you want to play them.
Yeah, and like I said, the Russian top tier players, they have a really deep amount of decks. They have numerous strategies that a lot of people, I think, on the Western and the English speaking scene are not necessarily familiar with. I mean, of course, we can't look into the mysterious Russian soul, but I think just the language difference and the fact that the money that they win from those tournaments means a bit more when you're living in a low income country. So I don't blame them for taking this very seriously, and I have a feeling that Scuff was preparing to just do an complete concave trap to a standard tank all-in. And Stardekk managed to avoid that, but Stardekk was punished for being too creative, being too innovative. Maybe the way to counterplay this would have been to, instead of attacking the top, attacking the middle and trying to do a forwards and left move into Alpha, and that would have not taken all of these T-72s so far up further from the crucial fights. But who knows? Certainly not me.
Yeah, the planes here also coming around, wreaking havoc one more time. Stardekk does get one of them down, but even loses a coup here in the end. And yeah, he is still playing on here. Stardekk is someone who seldom gives up. He likes to play to at least really close to the end, and this time maybe even all the way through it. Most likely considering trying to figure out a weakness here, trying to already think about what to play in the next game. He's a young guy with a lot of stamina, so playing the stamina game here can work out. I don't believe Scuff is somebody who gets beaten by that. We have a couple of other players here in the community, though, who you kind of want to drag out, and then you can see them getting a bit worse. Like Fortitude Fence comes to mind as somebody who is really, really strong, but sometimes just falls off in the longer series. And yeah, Scuff here taking the next victory. Let's see if Stardekk can wear him down in the next game. or if Scuff, now on being on match point, can finish it off in game number 4.
Yeah, I think I said what I wanted to say here. I like Stardeck's play because Stardeck aggressively tries to widen the scope of WARNO meta, tries to purposefully tries to anti-play the meta in this way of doing the completely unexpected thing. But I unfortunately that's there are often reasons why you don't do the completely unexpected thing, and if somebody can manage to do that, Stardekk is on the level to do that certainly. But I can resonate with the feeling of wanting to play the game different, especially if you're a young guy and you feel like you maybe have something to show people. You want to show your capacity. You don't want to be basic.
So yeah, well played here by Scuff, getting a nice W though with the clean ninth US play. Like this ninth US was maybe the best ninth US I've ever seen in a tournament. Like we have seen it from Fortitude fans and so on, but it was always playing around, getting off to a good start, and then just punching it home from there. But Scuff here took trades. Scuff here was up against an opponent who did take away his CUCVs, did take away other units, and he had to adapt, and he did it masterfully, and just came out on top in the end. It was a grind there, but he never lost control of this game. He was in the driver's seat from the get-go, and he got it over the 40-minute finish line, and that's really showing why he is here in the semifinals, and Stardekk has to find a way of breaking that, as his openers were interesting. His first one worked out. Let's see if he can make it work another time. Quick break, guys, and then we're going to be back here with game number 4. So here we return, Scuff on match ball, and here we go between two divisions that are pretty light on the ground, two infantry divisions facing off, but they are pretty different. And one of them here on the left side has been a staple of WARNO competitive play for a long time. It had dominated last league under Pro Comi, and on the other side we have the up-and-coming division, the division that just absolutely breached into the meta thanks to Skiffik just showing it to the world, and that is 4th ZMAC. And it is light and to the ground, whilst On the other side, the division of 2nd UK wants to be a bit heavier, wants to be a bit fancy with the SAS and the helicopters. So let's see if the just pure spam or the fanciness can win out here on Mount River. Another somewhat basic division map, but I like it. I like Mount River a lot, and I'm really interested to see if Stardeck's approach here through the south, which is the Skiffic approach, will work out.
Yeah, we saw, I believe I saw Stardekk play this against T-Man actually. And the tactic is, this looks like all the other Stardekk openers where he attacks an unsuspecting location with all of his might and then tries to figure that into some amount of map control and exploitation. And then later on, Scuff either trades well or does not trade well against us. This is not the tactic here. This is actually a speedway into the middle point X-ray and forcing the enemy to build a powerful enough fighting line to defend Oscar. But when the force has managed to go through Lima and go into the land bridge, the middle land bridge here where X-ray is situated, then the enemy has been put into a situation where they have to predict where the next attack is going. And even though the BMP-1s are not that mobile, and the Meridas, the T-55s, are not the fastest tanks, the numbers here mean that the fourth can, with a well enough executed opener, start getting the tempo advantage and the decision-making advantage, so to speak. Like if you have the Forge Mech force on the middle land bridge, you can't necessarily start attacking all around the map on your own because as 2nd UK, you don't have enough troops. Your stuff is too expensive. And in this way, the numbers, right place, right time, covered by a very strong and fast recon opener, this could go quite well for Stardekk. This is actually a proven tactic. Of course, if the forces get into the middle and just get concaved by some TOW 1 Hell Arms and Milan 2s and a single challenger, of course, you can always lose these fights. But this opener here, this is a very much an infantry and light infantry favorite map here. The BNP 1s are only 25 points, and the firepower they offer is quite a lot for 25 points. They also have 3 armor. This is I'm feeling good about Stardekk here.
Yeah, this looks interesting, but on the other side,
no, the SAS is gonna start. The SAS is gonna start shooting the Stinger in just a second. No.
Wait, are you ahead of me?
Am I? I shouldn't be.
Is the game started for you already?
It is.
It's not for me.
Well, okay. Well, in that case.
Oh yeah, you were at 2 minutes, and I was at we started. Okay, so yeah, let's see where this is going. The game is starting now, and yeah, spoiler alert, I guess we will have SAS shooting at something here. And yeah, that's what I was so trying to get into there, because the MI2s are a risky buy against a division that has SAS. Like, why do you bring the MI2s there when the enemy can just have basically Stingers for free on the front line? This is, yeah, sure, MI2 Urns are nice, but in this matchup, it's the one matchup where I would shy away a bit more from them. So SAS here now setting up the shot, getting the shot out. First MI2 down. The Honker Reese coming around. Specialny moving into the middle. The MI2 URPG. That one at least doesn't get hit. Gets a bit closer, but it doesn't have rockets here either to finish off the SAS, so it has to get out of the way as well. SAS gets another shot out, gets another kill. Fox about to go down here though, so the MI2's at least still stopping things, still killing a couple of things here as well. Milan 2 here gets sniped off by the Ross Spesnelny, so a really bad opener here from Micro's perspective for Scuff, as losing those units, that is painful. You don't want to lose your Milan 2s, especially not with what is coming after this. So, yeah, Stardekk lost some units as well, lost the helicopters, but he can afford this in this position because he has all these units following this up. But Scuff, there's nothing behind this opener. So losing the Fox, losing the Milan 2, losing one more infantry here, that's something he couldn't really afford. He's getting the win in the Norths. Fox is pushing deep there, pushing it back to Scott, and he realizes now what Stardekk is up to. But Stardekk is getting a lot of wiggle room here now in the South.
Yeah, this is I think the thinking with having the mass MI2 is that if you can spot them, and these MI2 ROs have the autocannon and the very good optics. So I think the idea is kind of like, well, if you spot the SAS immediately with numerous helicopters, they can all open up and just stun lock it down. And if they don't, then then you've lost a couple of helicopters, but at least you know where the enemy is, and you may have forced them to deploy and get out of the Saxon early on. And now here we see as I was planning, forcing the enemy to commit to a defensive line. There's a Challenger 2, Warrior Milan, a couple of Milan 2s as well, but they are too late to prevent entry into the zone here. The Rospecialny and the Pietro are already in there, and with this very thin line of attack that we see on the land bridge in the middle, the Challenger 2 is going to be trading shots against the Merida. The Merida
Yeah,
will
but the
likely
important
lose.
part is the SU-22 cluster. Like, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Merida doesn't matter. The cluster SU-22 is what matters here. And what? It
Oh,
doesn't get off? What is the cluster doing? Oh no! Stardekk not attacking ground, attacking the unit, and somehow losing line of sight there. The SU-22 is just not wanting to kill that Challenger. It already broke away from the first attack. Now the second one where it doesn't get around. This is unfortunate timing there for Stardekk. Will get it around this time though, and the Challenger will get hit and will get cleaned off. SAS not able to kill it. One SAS already down, and a single SAS, well, actually might get a second Stinger shot out here as well. No, barely not. And the cluster gets out alive. So, yeah, Challenger did a bit of defending there, but not enough. And the SU-22 will come around even more times here. And you don't have that many Challengers to give. You only get 6 of them. Or, no, he brings them with 2 veterancy. You only get 4 of them then, most likely. This is an interesting choice here by Scuff bringing the Chellies with 2 vet.
yeah, this is like a rush build here instead of a longer game build. What I didn't realize, what the Meridas were at S variants. These are the coffin launcher variants, and both of the coffin launchers that just took themselves an SAS. The damage, even losing the first Merida into the Challenger, was worth it by getting the free SAS kill there. And now a second cluster plane here targeting the Challenger, and there is no anti-air here. There are no planes up in the sky. This could be huge.
This is
Huge.
terrible, terrible news here. Not having the Phantoms out here. Sure, Scuff wants to cut some corners here, but that's not the corners to cut here. You need to have some AA around when the SU-22 come, because they always come. Like that's the bread and butter fourth, that they can throw these SU-22s at your heavy things. And if you can't protect your heavy things, so you're just falling apart here. 2 challengers down. Like, how do you recover from this from Scuff? Scuff attempt is through the north, and that's actually looking pretty decent. SAS there doing a good amount of damage. BMP-1 pushed back, but this was terrible investment into the Chellies. The Chellies for sure weren't the units to bring around, especially not without any air protection. As fourth smack, just like fourth mod Schützen back in the day. That's their bread and butter play. And sure, the fourth mech is new, but the gameplay is not. So Scuff not being prepared for this is kind of wild here. But as I said earlier, this might be about endurance. This is their 4th game already. Playing 4 games in a row, that takes a lot of stamina. So, yeah, starting to get to Scuff here, maybe, as those 2 challengers position-wise and defensive-wise, especially the second one, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, and we're seeing Scuff keeps on buying another challenger. Okay, he actually has a second challenger card at 0 bet. So that makes a bit more sense than having them all on 2 bet. So the numbers are still going to be there, but the numbers are not going to necessarily be worth that you can't. A singular challenger is not capable in fighting in the same at 0 bet. Like if it gets a single hit, even from an ATGM that cannot penetrate into armor, it will immediately be less relevant. So it's gonna work best as a long-range fire support unit, and even then it's not gonna be the best because it only has 8 rate of fire. Now the front line next to Oscar is building up here with 2 recons units and an SAS, but with the significant investment from Scuff to capture Oscar back, there isn't that much from Stardekk actually out there. There's some BMP1s going now to hold the line, but all around the map, this is about as wide of a front line that you can have on this map here, and the division with the cheaper units is going to have a natural advantage here for a moment, especially if they want to start pushing in like the next 5 to 7 minutes. Now, 2
Yes, and
Harriers are getting bought here.
Stardekk also has the advantage in the north now, taking out the units there with the bombs. If you're the air spam division, you want it wide as well, so that's a nice advantage there for Stardekk too. The Harriers here getting in. There is a 2-star Osa, that's a classic play currently as well. It does miss 2 shots though, so the Harrier most likely gonna survive, even though it survives 3 shots there. Okay, Stardekk a bit unfortunate there, but Stardekk is totally fine with that. He gets the north back. The leaders at the SAS lost there to the bombs and to the T-55A. And the SAS being wasted like this is also really painful because those are irreplaceable units. SAS are a unit that has a unique capability of both being good frontline anti-air, which is especially important if the enemy has Su-22s, and good special forces infantry that also brings a decent AT. And losing all of that means that you're now a lot more vulnerable. Su-22 coming around. Okay, it doesn't have line of sight currently on the Challenger. Gets it now. So the Su-22 still might be able to do it here. Harrier will go down most likely as well. Yes, Harrier goes down at Challenger number 3 here. Oh no, the disaster, and I just don't quite get what Scuff is attempting to do here. Like, this is really, really wasteful. Great T-55 AMS launcher here in the middle, taking out the Milan 2 as well. And yeah, it's exactly where Prof wants to be.
I think they was just not necessarily paying attention. I don't think he realizes that there is the Ross Specialny out there. I think he thought that they were in the tower, and that because the tower is the logical place for them to be. The Ross Specialny, I really have a feeling that this has just completely missed Scuff. And as long as these challengers are going to get spotted, or any push here is going to get spotted by the Ross Specialny, Stardekk can kind of relax about it and not necessarily invest that much there. The forces that are going to be defending that southern side are going to be fighting from really good defensive positions. And meanwhile, the impending Stardekk attack on the north, as well as this push in the middle here with the Piekota mech, these will be drawing enough of Scuff's attention that I think Stardekk is kind of all right by leaving all of those forces in the Oscar. That attack already paid for itself multiple times by forcing out those challengers.
Yeah, Stardekk is not that much strong on the ground right now, though, but he has the air spam. But it's I think the one thing that Scuff could play around now by buying the fighters now and start to get to the Su-22s. But he has still not invested into a single fighter, so the Su-22s are able to get free value here. Every reload cycle they can come in and take out another couple of units here. Oh no, those bombs land perfectly again, taking out the Milan, taking out the leader and a warrior, and they take no damage. So I mean, they will be back here in 2 minutes time again. They will do it again. Not respecting the air spam at all. It's just such a wild take on this gameplay. Sure, Scuff is not trading too badly in the ground engagements, but at some point you have to stop the Su-22 menace, as you just can't keep up with that, even if you play well on the ground.
Yeah, now Scuff, Stardekk spots the Scuff gas